BQuanchi here, at it again doing another tier list video and also another Pokemon tier list video. So I already did the first two generations of Pokemon, so we're moving on to Gen 3. So it's going to rank them all. I am going to post the link to the exact tier list page I used to make this video, if you want to use it, because I really like how this layout is with the sprites of the Pokemon. For this tier list, like the previous ones as well, I'm not going to include Mega Evolutions. And I know this gen, I believe when I did the reboots like the Heart Gold and Soul Silver, they give like primal versions of the legendaries and all that. So this sticking to the base forms, and if they have like alternate forms, I'm not going to include that in the ranking, although they are on this tier list page. So let's get down to it. So if you see my previous tier list for Pokemon, I do rank the starters higher, but also have that habit of ranking evolved forms higher than others. So with the starters, we have A for most of them. I'm going to get a third stage in S, so we're going to quickly go through this. And one thing about Gen 3, I didn't play when it was released, although I would have loved to. I don't know, for some reason when I had my Game Boy Advance, I didn't jump onto the Pokemon games as much. But I love how like some of the starters, I have to say Mudkip is my favorite because I like how it gets the water ground type. So Swampert is one of my favorites overall in starters and a lot of the generations. Firefighting, and then although Trigger just gets grass, so kind of wish I would have done more interesting things with him. But oh well, but you start off with. And then we got Pugina. I might, again, I was kind of late to playing this game, so hopefully I don't butcher the names too much. But one thing I really like about this game is that they introduced a dark-type Pokemon very early in the game. So I think because of that, I'm going to give him a C, and then evolved form, Marina, a B. So we got Zigzagoon. I really like the form in Sword and Shield because it has a dark type and it evolves into a third stage. I like the design. Usually normal types don't get ranked very high on my list. I'm going to give a C in the evolved form. Is it Lanoon or Lune? Also C. And another trend with my tier list is that bug types don't get ranked very high. So one thing I can appreciate about this generation is that Wurmple can split. Like I think it's random that it can become like two different evolutions, but that it's second stage, but the third stages, I'm gonna give it a C. So yeah, I don't use bug types more as often. I do like its shiny form and all that, but I think it's very interesting. It's having like two different bug type evolved lines you can split into two different ones. I think that's random. I'm pretty sure that's random. But moving on, we have Lotad. I kind of like this typing. It's water and grass, which is a very interesting type. I'm going to do C, B, and A. And especially I really like Ludicolo's, I'm mispronouncing stuff, but Ludicolo's evolved form is really fun design as well. Let's look at the other grass type. I really like how they had like these two different grass type with 3 stages and with interesting typing. See that? It doesn't have a dark type yet, so I'm going to put it in a D. But then when it becomes Nuzleaf and Shiftry, it has a dark type. So I'm going to put that with the other form. So not as good as Lotad in terms of the first stage, but I really like it a lot. Flying, no more flying. I don't know why that became such a trend with Pokemon games, like having no more flying. Because flying is strong against fighting, but since it has a normal type, it takes regular damage. Let's say D. Since the evolved form, I'm going to give it a C. Wingull, since it's water flying, I'm going to give that a C in its evolved form. Pelipper, B. Then moving on to Ralts. Which is a very fun Pokemon as well. When it first came out, it was just Psychic, but then they introduced the Fairy type, so it's a very good one. I'm going to give it a C. The second stage a B. Guidavalor. You know what? I'll give that an S. I like that. I kind of like the new evolved form, this split that they did. Like the males can evolve into, is it Gallade? Whatever the fighting psychic one. So I like that they introduced in Gen 4. But yeah, I have to say S. And then you got Surskit and Marskowin. Water Bug is kind of fun, but Bug type, I'm going to give it a D and a C. Shroomish, kind of, I like its evolved form, but the base form, I'm going to give that a D, but since it adds fighting, and we don't see grass fighting too much in the Pokemon franchise and series, so I'm going to give the evolved form actually a B, so he gets a little bit more of a jump for evolving. Then Slacloth, normal types. I'm going to say both are a D. I don't really use this one. I kind of like the third stage, has like big and lazy and lumpy, but I think it's a good, like, if you play Pokemon Go, it's a good gym defender because he has a lot of HP, but I don't see myself really using him that much in the Pokemon game, so very rare third stage besides the bug ones as well, but I'm going to give him a D. And then next we have Nikata. I'm not sure how good it is. I like how it has rock with a bug type, but I'm gonna give it a C. Its evolved form, I'm just gonna go B, maybe because of the bug typing. But I really like how Sajinda, the ghost type, the ghost bug. It has a little gimmick like when he evolves and you have extra space and you get this extra Pokemon, like the shell, the husk of it. So I kind of like that. That's a very interesting mechanic when it came to evolutions in Pokemon. So I kind of really like that, but both will get a B. So the higher of the bugs on at least this tier list. Then we have Whimsir, normal type, first stage, D. Although I like his design, Eldred also gets a D. But it does have a third stage. We don't see that too much with normal type, although we just saw that with Cloth. But I'm going to give him a C as well. Fighting type, we got Makuhita. I would say maybe my least favorite design of the fighting types. So a D in his evolved form, a C. I feel kind of bad about that. The fighting type, I kind of lean on them as well, but I have to say one of my least favorites of the fighting types in the Pokemon series. Do you have Azurill? I feel like this generation didn't really add too much baby forms. Like, you know, Gen 2 had a lot of them, and this is the baby form Meryl. But this one is, okay, so they did add I was checking my little notes, so they did add fairy to it. Before it was just normal, but it was normal fairy, but it's cute, but a D. I'm going to evolve him, and I'm not going to use that one. I got Nosepath, rock type. I don't know, people kind of like his design. He gets an evolution next generation, but I know I would keep on saying he when it comes to this Pokemon, but oh well. I'm going to give it a D. I prefer a lot of other rock types compared to him. And then next we have Skitty, normal type, boring, D. Evolved form, also normal. I'm going to give it a D as well. I feel bad about that, but because it's evolved, and it kind of has a nicer design, but both are Ds. Then we have Sableye. I believe this is the first dark ghost Pokemon we get in the Pokemon series, and I believe this is the only dual type that has absolutely no weaknesses, and does have some immunities against like fighting and normal. I wish they would do more. I know they give it a Mega Evolution. I really like the typing, but I wish they would do more, but I'm going to give it a B. And then also Mawile. At first it was a Steel, then when they introduced Fairy, they added Fairy to this type, and then this one also gets a Mega Evolution. So it's kind of a fun, because I know Steel is the weakness to Fairy, so I'm going to also give it a B. I know with the Mega Evolution, I wish they would give more to it, but I think a B sounds fair. Then Aeron. One of my favorites, like, evolutions in this game. I like the typing to Rock Steel. So I'm gonna give a C, a B for its second stage, but the Egron, the third stage, that's definitely S tier. I really like the design. Rock Steel is really cool. All that. So yeah, S tier for that. Then we have Metatite, the little monkey. I think because of the as fighting psychic in this stage as well as its evolution, I'm gonna give it a C and a B. I don't use it that much. I like the unique typing, but I don't know, maybe because I just don't love the design as much. Is that I just don't rank that as high. And then we have Electite and Manic Trick. I like this electric Pokemon, but I'm going to say this is a C and this is a B. I don't know, I kind of like electric Pokemon down the line. I know he gets a Mega Evolution, but I honestly haven't played games that have Mega Evolutions, so I'll get B. Next we have Plessy and Munium. So these are like the Pikachu, quote-unquote, of the generations and all that, and they're cute, but I wish you'd do more with them. I'm going to give them Ds, because they're like basic electric type. What I would really love to see them do with these in future games is to give them an evolution. Like maybe give one like an electric psychic and electric dark, like one gets more negative charge and one gets more of a positive charge. So I think if they made like evolved forms that become electric psychic and then electric dark, that would be a lot more interesting. I really like those as much, but don't love them. Then we have Volbeat and Illuminese. Whatever, I'm probably mispronouncing some of them. Bugs, they don't have anything really interesting with them. Though also D. The designs are kind of fun how they complement each other. But I don't really care for them, so they're definitely a D in my book. And then we got Rosella. Rosella. Grass Poison, I'm going to give it a C. It does get an evolution and even a baby form in Gen 4, but I can't rank it too high, but it's kind of a fun design as well. Gulpin, a poison type. I kind of like its fun design as well. And I think this is one that's in Smash Bros. As a little Pokemon item. I'm going to give it a C in its evolved form. Swalot, a B. Next we have Cavanha and Sharpedo. I like these a lot. These come a little bit more favorites of the water types, especially since they add the dark type to it. I know that Sharpedo gets a Mega Evolution. I'm going to give him a C, but I'm going to bump Sharpedo to an A. I think he deserves it. And then we have Wallimer and Wailord. Just water types, but I like the designs a lot more than other water types. I'm going to give him a C. I was going to give Wailord an A, because I kind of like the memes with, like, he's one of the biggest Pokemons out there. I don't use him too much. The Chinese kind of, I think it's the Chinese purple, if I remember it correctly. So, for a base water type that's not a starter, it's one of my more of the favorites. Then you have Numel in its evolved form, Camera, which is fire, ground. Okay, check that out. I really like the typing as well. You know what? You get a C in evolved form. I'm gonna give you an A. I like the unique typing. It's I find it more interesting to use that. So I know he gets a Mega Evolution. I feel like, again, I think I said this earlier, but this generation they've been very generous with the Mega Evolutions with the Pokemon. Next we have Torkoal, Fire. I'm surprised it doesn't have like Fire Rock because it has that hard shell. But I wish I would give it an evolution or something more interesting with it. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure how its base stats are. I'm going to give it a C. Yeah, Spoink and Grumpig. Psychic types. I like the design. You know what? I'm going to give a C and a B. I think that sounds fair. It's funny, like, these psychic types are a little bit more friendly looking, and a lot of them can look a little bit more meaner, or, like, more intimidating, but kind of like a little fun pig character, so I kind of like these ones. Got Spinda, a D. Normal type. useless. I will never use them. And I know that it's interesting that the sprites have like so many different random combinations of the spots and the color patterns, but I don't really care too much about that Pokemon. Next we have Trapinich, Vibrava, and Flygon. I'm going to give it a C, a ground type. It does have that interesting ground flying when it evolves. It's a B, but then when it gets to the third stage, it drops to flying for Dragon. I think that's a great combination. I don't get too much into competitive nature, like, oh, what's the best Pokemon in terms of its types and base stats, but I really also like this design as well. Interesting that a Pokemon that wasn't a dragon gets the dragon type. So I'm going to give you an S. And we have Cacnea, the cactus one. Just a grass type, but it gets a dark type when it evolves. I'm going to give it a C, but its fall form, Cacturn, you're going to be an A, just because of the dark type. I do kind of like the dark types a little bit more. And then next we have Swablu and Altaria. And I don't want to care about the first stage. The second stage, Flying Dragon. I don't get to make an evolution, but I'm going to give it a B. I don't know. It feels like it's not as strong as a Pokemon, in my opinion, in terms of appeal and whatever. That's my ranking list, so whatever. Next we have Zangoose and Seviper. Kind of wish I would do more with these as well, because they have so many Pokemon that just have the one stage, like no evolutions, anything. Normal type, even though those fall pretty low, I do like its design, so I'm going to give it a C. I was going to give Seviper a C. And then we have Lunatone and Solrock. I think the Rock Psychic combination is pretty interesting for the typing, but I'm also going to give it a C. I kind of wish they would have evolutions and something more interesting going on with them. Next we have Barboach and Wishcash. I like the Water Ground. It does have Water Ground in the first form as well. I'm going to give it a C, but its evolved form, I'm going to give it an A. And we have Corphish and Crawdont. It's just a water form, but I'm going to give that a C, and when it falls, it gets dark. So I'm going to give that an A, just like Sharpedo. The next one, we have, I think this is also very interesting as well. I think I'm kind of falling into a pattern right now with how I want to rank them. But Baltoy, you get a C, but your evolved form, Claydol, you get an A. And then for the prehistoric ones, and like they went very interesting with the type, got Rock Bug again, and Rock Grass for the leap. So C and A, I think that sounds right. Now we're getting to the point that we're going to have to scroll up and down. So there we go. And then we have Feebas. Kind of ugly. I don't know, it feels like this is just Generations Magikarp, but I'm not so in love with his evolved form Militech, so this one I don't think is as bad stat-wise, I think, compared to Magikarp, because Magikarp I think can only learn 2 moves, but I think it's also kind of annoying trying to evolve him, at least in the earlier generations, like you had to evolve it based on like beauty or something like that. I know they made it, I think they made it easier in future games, but I'm gonna give it a D. An evolved form, I'll get a B. We have Cast Form. A normal type. It does have the interesting mechanic of changing. I think it's based on weather. I'm going to give it a D. That's my instinct. The types it can gain from weather patterns or whatever is interesting, but I don't know. Overall, I'm not going to use that Pokemon. We have Cleon. A normal type, I'm going to give it a D. I probably never use that one. I know people have been complaining that it's not in Pokemon Go yet, even though they had so many generations already. So I know that he kind of has like his little fan base and following and all that, but I'm never going to use him, so D on this list. You have Shuppet. This generation also added some good ghost type. We had Sableye over here. But I like it having the ghost types that are just ghost type because before we just had like ghost psychic, and I forget what we got ghost wise. I think we got like one ghost type from Gen 2. Give C and B for both of them. I know they gave what do you call it, the evolved form, Bagnet a Mega Evolution, but then they give Dusclops a third stage. So I kind of like that more. But for how it is for this generation, I'm going to give them both a B. Tropius, I like the design, but I don't see myself really using them that much. Although the grass flying is interesting as well. Maybe because of that, I'm going to give it a B. Then yeah, Chimichao, I don't care too much for it. I'm going to give it a D. I know it gets like a baby form later, but kind of a boring design. And then we have Absol. I wish it would do more. I know they're giving a Mega Evolution, and I'm not sure if that means I won't get any more from this Pokemon, but I kind of wish you had an additional stage. I like the dark typing. I'm going to give it a C, unfortunately. I do like it, but I feel like this is the better dark Pokemon I would rather have my team than Absol. There, why not? A D. Some of the babies I just don't care for, and I think this generation just only had 2 new baby Pokemon. It's a baby form Wobbuffet, and I don't really like Wobbuffet in the first place either. Rinkslow. I have Snowrut. I'm going to give him a C, the Ice type. We haven't had too many Ice types this generation. Let me see, in the evolved form, Gali, I believe, I'm going to give him a B. I do like the other evolved form that they introduced in the 4th generation, Frostlass, that has the ghost typing. So I think I like that a little bit more, but I know he gets a Mega Evolution, which is kind of cool. Next we have Spheal. I kind of like the Steel Pokemon, like the designs, they're pretty fun. I'm going to give a C, the next day's a B. And since it's the 3rd stage, Water Ice, I'm going to actually give this an S. I do like that. I know the S rank is getting a little lonely, but that might change when we get to the legendaries. Okay, then we're going to Clamperl, a D. I'm trying to think if this one evolves. I think it's also random. But I don't really care about this evolution as much. But since evolved form, I'm going to drop them in C. And then we have Relicanth, a Water Rock. I wish to do more with this Pokemon as well. It's kind of, you know, interesting typing, but if it had evolution, all that, I'm going to give it a C. Love Disc, D. I kind of grown to hate this Pokemon because I play Pokemon Go as well, and there's so many times that I get eggs. I think it was just maybe like a certain, like sometimes they change out what Pokemon can hatch from certain eggs, but so many times I hatch an egg and then this little fucker pops out and like, no, I don't, I would have a different one. So I think my anger with hatching so many of them in Pokemon Go, there's not really much interesting with this Pokemon or evolved forms or all that. So I'm going to give it a D. And moving on, I'm going to do Dragon. So this is the big dragon of this generation. Bagon, since it's a first stage, I'm going to give it a C. The second stage, Shelgon, one of my least favorite second stages. But it's Dragon type. I'm going to give it a C, but it's evolved form, which gains a flying type. Salamence also has the Mega Evolution. I think, I'm pretty sure it does. Does it? Because they didn't put it on this list. Maybe it doesn't. I thought it did. I'm pretty sure it did, because remember the wings change. Maybe that's a little error with the list. But I'm going to put him as S rank. Like his design and all that. And then now we're moving on to Beldum. Psychic Steel, a good combination. I'm going to give this a C. I like its middle stage a lot better, so I'm going to give that a B. And Metagross, you get an S. It also gets a big evolution and all that, but yeah, definitely one of my favorite Steel Psychic. I like it than the other one. I think it's introduced in Gen 4, the Bronzog. Yeah, I'm pretty sure because he's also an Arceus, but yep, one of my favorite Psychic Steel. Legendaries, you get all S ranks. And kind of like the little fun things they did with him with Pokemon Sword and Shield in the DLC. We had 2 additional other Reggies, like the Dragon and Lightning one. Do they have any more? I think they have just these 3 Lightning Dragon, and then they have Regigigas. I think that's it, but they have fun designs and all that. And then the Psychic Dragons. These combination, I think they kind of both balance pretty well. But yep, they definitely legendaries get S rank. And that's pretty much going to be the trend for the rest of this tier list. The Psychic. Kyogre, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right because I've never really heard his name pronounced, but a good legendary water one, and then ground. I kind of wish, I know they do like a lot of lava like themes with him, like with the Pokemon pinball game and all that, so I kind of wish it would be like fire ground as well than just ground, but I think I like his design more than his counterpart. Rayquaza, also S tier. I really like Jirachi and a Psychic Steel, maybe one of my more favorites of the mythical Pokemon. You get an S. Then last we're going to do Deoxys. We're going to do just one form, also S, because is he considered mythical or legendary? I forget. But yeah, then down here, I'm not going to group these because these are just like alternate forms and Mega Evolutions or whatever. So this is my tier list. So let me know in the comments, you know, if you agree, disagree, what are some of your favorites from this generation. Again, I'm going to link for this tier list page in the description. And check out my other videos as well. I'm not sure how many more of the Pokemon generations I'm going to do. Maybe Gen 4 at least, but we'll see down the road. But I think this is a pretty good list. I'm happy with it. I think it makes sense on that. But you can argue in the comments below. Let me know. But anyways, that will do it for this video. So thanks so much for tuning in. Again, best way to support me on the channel is to like, comment, and subscribe. So y'all take care and have a good rest of your day. Bye.